What's up, guys? This is Sean Tan and welcome to another episode of the podcast. Today we will actually discuss something a little bit more hot lately because I'm currently in Seremban, and Seremban has been that second home where it's a trend now to actually stay away from a city because of the jam and things like that. Plus, the distance actually fetch lower prices for properties, and there's a number of people that actually travels back and forth into Seremban and KL every day. So today I just want to explore what's your take between 700,000. Okay, let's assume 700,000. Would you get a 1,000 square feet apartment in the city, KL PJ, or would you actually go for a double story terrace in Seremban, Nilai, Semenyih, and etc.? What's your take? As always, this is a sharing show, not so much of me just talking, but I do welcome you guys actually interact. For you guys in YouTube, right? You guys just interact in the comment section. For podcasts, unfortunately, but you guys can always just drop by my YouTube. So first of all, when you consider 700,000, right, what can you get in PJ is around 1,000 square feet. So per square feet is around 700, which is rather exclusive really lah. And then if you look into terrace house, the usual build up is 1,006 to 1,008, 3 bedrooms. Double story 2275 standard, right? So at what stage are you considering or making this decision is rather important. So for investment point of view, it also depends whether are you going for rental returns or are you going for capital appreciation, because the tendency for capital appreciation, right, is way higher for Seremban or Nilai and locations like this. Because if you look into the trend, Gamuda Cove, Serena City by Sam Dhabi, Nilai Impian, and IJM Seremban 2, and the Matrix Group in Seremban, and then you look at Eco World at Semenyih, Gamuda Cove, etc. It's really moving outskirts, and the prices are not that cheap though. If you look at it, right, 600 over 1,000 starting to 800, some even to 1,000,000 already for those gated and guarded developments, right? So what are they offering actually? My take is they are offering environment, and they are offering that sense of security, that serenity, and they often place themselves next to the highway. So highways wise, they don't tell you during congestion time how long it will take, roughly around an hour to commute, just to commute to the city, right? Then they always come from the point of view of children development, space, landscape, and things like that. So it's more towards family building. And it depends, again, what are your take? So personally, at this current junction, 30 years old, right, I will actually go for the Highrise in PJ because I value time way more. I value convenience way more than anything else because I need to be close to action. So if my offices of my clients are in KL areas, right, it's very important for me to be in the city itself rather than just be traveling here and there. Although the work culture now actually shifting to flexi hours, that gives a possibility of younger families to actually move outskirts like Semenyih and stuff like that, because they can start work at 10:30, 11, or they can work from home, then only appear in the office during meetings and things like that. So that's also a part of the consideration where the trend is actually moving towards that, and you can see more freelancers instead of sticking to one job. Right, teenagers or younger adults now tend to have multiple freelance, they do photography, then they do editing, then someone like me actually can do freelance from home, and I can actually get 5,000 to 6,000 ringgit just like a normal bank job. But I need to travel more. I get to avoid the morning congestions 9 to 5, right? Everybody just traveling, and if you think about it, right, my friends in Kota Kemuning travels to Tun Razak and they push off from there 6 o'clock. Imagine that 6 o'clock just to commute, right? And it's 2-3 hours, easily 4 hours a day just on the road. And you think about what you can do for that 4 hours of time. Again, I'm just striving in my career life so that I would actually put in that 4 hours in something else instead of being stuck in the jam. Most probably going to the gym, working out, or actually working on my own career, editing more videos, producing more content and things like that. Just hustling through to maximize every time I get instead of just being in the jam. Then if it's an investment point of view, Highrise tends to fetch higher rental returns, easily like a 700 over 1,000 condo, right? Let's say in PJ or Mont Kiara or older Mont Kiara apartments, you get to fetch like 2005, 2003, 2005, 2008 fully furnished, right? And the return is rather handsome in comparison to landed properties in outskirts, because people tend to rent less, like most probably 1,005 rental, and the fully furnished rate is going to be very costly as well. So it's never going to be ROI positive one. You will always need to chip in for installments and things like that. Then for capital appreciation, not necessarily landed prices, right, will actually be higher than condos one actually. But if you look into data, just because lately the apartments, right, are actually over supply, meaning everywhere also got property. Let's say at 700,000, right, the amount of choices you have in the city is just in abundance in comparison to landed properties. And landed properties, provided also the right one, is like if you are in the right corner or in the right location, then it will grow. If not, it will continue to suffer just the same. So the only difference in terms of investment, right, will be on the ROI. Another thing will be the influence of parents, because the ideal property for older, like also including my parents lah, which is double-story terrace house, freehold, even gated and guarded, they don't want to pay maintenance fees. They want freehold. And so Sime Darby especially, it's targeting all these where they smartly put in like security guards, right, but not strata. So they are still individual title, implied using house rules. So these are the products that is actually fetching a lot of audience in the market right now, instead of like gated and guarded, which is like EcoWorld's theme lah. The main concern for those are still the maintenance fees, and how many of you actually do use the swimming pool, like if you have families and all. So there's a debate to whether are these properties suitable for families. I have a friend who's actually upgraded from landed to a 3-bedroom high-rise apartment, right, in Seresta. And the main reason for them moving out is actually for the security and facilities. Like instead of just paying for clubhouse and things like that outside, right, those individual clubhouse, they opt for facilities in the apartment. And every day they can just drop their kids down, right? And once they are at the facility deck, their peace of mind is actually worth it. They mentioned this to me. Instead of having an individual titled terrace house, right, that has no boundaries and things like that. So once you open the gate, it's the road already. So it doesn't make sense as well. It's either gated and guarded that can actually compare to the facilities at the high rise. So that's one part of the condition that you guys need to debate through as well if you guys are deciding to purchase. I think last of all would actually be the appetite, like the risk of appetite for your investment. In high rise, right, let's say 700,000, 5 years down the road, how much can it appreciate, right? Usually a 10%, 15% would actually be very good already for me, myself. Let's say 700,000, 5 years down the road, maybe 780 or 800,000 if I'm lucky. Many people may like, oh my god, after 5 years only increase 100,000, right? But that's the norm because you're already earning in terms of your rental returns. However, for terrace houses, let's say 700,000, 5 years down the road, is it possible to go up 1 million? Like now, if you look into the abundance of supply, it's no longer like last time individual title, right? There's still like limited numbers of developers building such products, and that's why like if you buy a 700,000, it's going to be 1.4 after it's completed and things like that. It's rather rare already, stories like this. So please do be aware on references that our parents or the person you ask, right, actually gives you, because everyone tells you like, oh, individual house, terrace house, right, always double one because it's in demand, it's constantly in demand. First of all would be the lifestyle, not forgetting like living in a condo high rise and living in a landed property, right, is very, very different. For having children, right, landed properties really do make more sense because like the distance from your car to your house is just shorter, less obstacles, I would say. Imagine like doing grocery shoppings, right? How many trips do you need to make as a single mother? Let's say you're not single mother lah, but the mother is actually staying at home taking care of the kid, but the husband is not around. So how do you actually work around it, right? Let's say one person go shopping, then one hand carry the daughter, one hand carry the groceries. How many trips you need to make just to complete the whole grocery shopping? In other words, if it's on a landed property, right, you can just leave your daughter at the living room under some boundaries or things like that, right? And you can just do your stuff already with her being within your sight all the time. So those are the convenience as well. Besides, if you stay in a condo, the level of security is higher, right? Where you have the gate, then you have the security door from the car park up to the lift, another scan, go to the unit, another scan. So there's like 3 to 4 tiers easily, and that is actually if you fancy security more than individual title terrace houses, because it's between you and the public, sometimes gated, so it's still fine, but that's ideal. So the best product currently that I actually feel within 700,000, the discussion needs to be between whether you fancy spaces or your wife is actually working or not. Both husband and wife are working within the city itself and your lifestyle. So for this discussion, right, again, I don't have the right answers, but personally I will still opt for 700,000 condo living in the city, because I fancy time and convenience way more than space currently. So I will actually opt for space, where now in designs for high rises there's a lot of communal living space where you have shared kitchen, you have shared dining spaces where you can invite all your friends all together here. But if you're a person who really wants space for your kids, you like gardens, you like things like that, you like to have fish ponds around your house, the 700,000 away from the city seems to be okay if you have flexi hours or your job, right? Maybe you're an insurance agent, maybe you're a MLM super player and things like that, right? So I think that's all for this episode. If you like this video, like it, share it, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan from Seremban this time. Ciao.